There's a strange thing that happens when you start studying body language. You begin noticing things most people miss. Not because you're trying to catch anyone doing something wrong, but because the body doesn't know how to lie the way words do. And one of the most revealing patterns shows up in insecurity. Not in what people say about themselves, but in how they hold their shoulders, where their eyes go, what their hands do when they think no one's watching. Research in nonverbal communication suggests that insecurity often appears in the body before it ever shows up in someone's words. These aren't character flaws to judge. They're adaptive behaviors the nervous system creates to protect us when we feel exposed or uncertain. And most of us display these patterns more than we realize. The first pattern psychologists identify is what they call postural collapse. When someone feels uncertain about their presence in a space, their body often tries to take up less room. Shoulders curve inward, the chest closes slightly, the head tilts down. This isn't about bad posture. It's the body trying to become smaller, less noticeable, less of a target for judgment. You've probably done this yourself without realizing it. The second pattern shows up in the hands. When insecurity spikes, hands often move toward the body, creating what psychologists call barrier behaviors. Crossed arms, hands clasped in front of the torso, fingers interlocked, or one arm crossing to hold the opposite elbow. These aren't conscious decisions. They're the body's way of creating a physical shield. Some studies link this to self-soothing, a way the nervous system calms itself when it feels vulnerable. But here's where most people get it wrong. They see crossed arms and assume someone is closed off or defensive. Sometimes that's true, but often, it's just someone trying to feel safe in an environment where they're not sure they belong. The third cue appears in eye contact patterns. People who feel insecure in a given moment often struggle with where to look. Their gaze might dart around the room, landing briefly on faces but rarely holding. Or they do the opposite, locking eye contact too intensely, overcompensating for the fear that looking away means weakness. Research on social cognition shows that secure individuals tend to have a more relaxed, intermittent eye contact pattern. They look at you, they look away, they look back. It's natural. When someone feels uncertain, that rhythm breaks. Then there's what happens with movement. Some people freeze. Their gestures become limited. Their body goes rigid. It's a holdover from evolutionary psychology, the idea that staying still makes you less noticeable to threats. In modern social settings, that threat isn't a predator. It's the fear of being judged or rejected. Others do the opposite. They fidget, touch their face, adjust their clothes, tap their fingers. Psychologists call these adapters, small movements that release nervous energy. Neither response is better or worse. They're just different ways the nervous system handles the same underlying feeling. Now here's the part most people don't want to think about. All of us display these behaviors sometimes. Not because we're broken, but because insecurity is a human experience. You walk into a room full of people who intimidate you, and suddenly your shoulders pull inward. You meet someone you admire, and your hands start fidgeting. These responses aren't permanent traits. They're situational. And that's where understanding this matters. The danger isn't in noticing these patterns. It's in what we do with that awareness. If you use it to judge people, to feel superior, or to categorize someone as insecure, and therefore less than, you've missed the point entirely. The value in understanding body language isn't to give yourself an advantage. It's to develop compassion, to recognize that the person across from you might be struggling with something you can't see. And if you recognize these patterns in yourself, it doesn't mean you're fundamentally insecure. It means you're human. It means your nervous system is doing what it was designed to do: protect you. The question isn't how to eliminate these responses entirely. It's how to understand what triggers them and whether those triggers are still relevant. Psychologists often focus on awareness as the first step, not to judge yourself for the behavior, but to notice it without attaching shame. You cross your arms in a meeting. That's information. Maybe you don't feel safe sharing ideas with this particular group. Maybe past experiences in similar settings didn't go well. The body gives you clues. What you do with them determines whether they help you or just make you feel worse. Researchers in social psychology have observed something interesting. People who are genuinely secure don't spend much time thinking about how they appear. Their body language is relaxed because they're not monitoring it. They're present, focused on the conversation, not on whether their posture is communicating the right thing. That kind of ease doesn't come from practicing body language. It comes from feeling fundamentally okay with who you are, regardless of how others perceive you. So the most useful thing you can do with this knowledge isn't to walk around cataloging everyone's insecurities. It's to notice your own patterns without judgment. To ask yourself, in moments when your body tenses up, what you're protecting yourself from, and to consider whether that protection is still necessary or whether it's just an old response to a threat that no longer exists. If you want to experiment with this, try something simple. Next time you notice yourself crossing your arms or avoiding eye contact, don't force yourself to stop. Just notice it. Ask yourself what you're feeling in that moment. That awareness alone can shift something. Not immediately, not dramatically, but over time. You might find that the body starts to relax on its own once it realizes the threat isn't real.